What would you do if the next time you dropped into a hot zone, a low-flying gunship circled overhead, ripping through enemy armor while your team advanced? What if the Polaris, the same ship you spent half a mission trying to stop, was finally countered not by capital ships, but by a bruiser-class gun platform with teeth? The Anvil Paladin might just be the ship that redefines close air support in Star Citizen. And the RSI Perseus, if the leaks are right, it could become the answer to Fleet Week's biggest threat. Between these ships and the mysterious expansion under Area 18, 4.1.1 is shaping up to be more than a patch. It might be the tactical pivot we didn't see coming. And if even half of what's been data mined makes it in, this could be one of the most content-heavy updates we've seen in a few years. Now look, I've been following this game for over a decade, and I've learned to take every leak, every data mine, and every could be coming soon with a grain of salt. We've all seen features show up in files that don't materialize for years, if ever. But that's what makes this one so interesting. Today's video is all about the leaks and speculation surrounding Alpha 4.1.1, Invictus launch week 2955, and what could be part of the upcoming 4.2 patch scheduled for May. While 4.1.1 is likely to land in April and may not contain everything that we're about to talk about, these leaks give us a glimpse into what CIG might be preparing behind the scenes, whether that drops in April or just in time for Fleet Week. We're talking new ships, new mission types, potentially massive events, and even a look at what could be the first expansion of Area 18's interiors. Of course, much of this is not confirmed. This is speculation based on data mine content and what's been quietly showing up behind the scenes. But if you're like me, someone who's always curious about what's next and how it could shift the way we play, this patch cycle might be one to watch closely. So let's dive into what's potentially coming in 4.1.1, what might be held for 4.2 and Invictus, and why some of these additions, if they drop, might just shake up the meta in a very real way. Now, Fleet Week isn't just about ship displays anymore. It's about subtle shifts in the meta. If these leaks are accurate, Invictus 2955 might bring a lineup of ships that are more than just showroom material. These could be tactical additions that start to reshape how we approach large-scale battles, planetary ops, and even support gameplay. Let's start with the Anvil Paladin. This thing could be a game changer for close air support. Think of it like a flying gun platform designed to support infantry and vehicles from low altitude, hovering just outside anti-aircraft range and raining down fire. If missions like Align and Mine or future planetary events are built with this in mind, the Paladin could quickly become the centerpiece of coordinated ground assaults. But its strengths don't just end there. The Paladin is also shaping up to be an incredibly capable gunship in space combat. With its forward-focused weapon systems and presumed heavy armor, it's likely built to engage other ships head-on, trading broadside tactics for direct, brutal pressure. It could be the kind of ship that thrives in low orbit or contested space zones, clearing lanes for dropships or pinning down larger threats long enough for heavy fire support to arrive. Essentially, it's Anvil's answer to multi-role dominance, ground or space. Then there's the Perseus, which might finally make its debut during Invictus launch week. We've known about this ship for a long time, but if it becomes flyable now, it could play a very specific role, countering the Polaris. It's built for hard hitting and punching through armor, not for carrier support or heavy logistics. If missions like the rumored Hunt the Polaris event come online, the Perseus would be a logical countermeasure, smaller, faster, and designed to cripple enemy capital ships with raw firepower. It doesn't escort, it ends threats. And the Mirai Guardian MX is another one to keep an eye on. This one appears to be straight to flyable. No concept sail, no weight. It could be hitting the hangars as early as Invictus. It's described as a missile-heavy variant, and if that holds true, this could be Mirai's answer to a standoff interceptor, or a high-damage strike platform built for precise, coordinated hits. With that said, let's talk about balance. Missiles are still insanely strong right now, especially when they hit hard and fast. Or fast enough. And personally, I like missiles being strong. especially when we're only carrying 4 to 6 of them. It makes each shot count. But once we start looking at ships built around missile saturation or volume of fire, things get a little tricky. If the Guardian MX is built around a heavy missile payload and fast lock times, it could very easily tip into imbalance unless countermeasures or gameplay loops evolve with it. Still, used tactically, a ship like this could open up exciting roles in PvE or fleet skirmishes. Think base defense, fast response support, or high-value target takedowns. If this thing lands with the right balance, it could be a welcome new option for players who enjoy calculated, high-risk, high-reward engagements. And of course, there's the Starlancer tech, which appears that it could become flyable, along with the Starlancer build potentially being on display. These could hint at modular designs for variants built for logistics, bombing, or tactical drops, and even base building. Maybe even tie-ins to future delivery or recon systems we haven't seen yet. But one ship you shouldn't overlook in all of this combat hype is the Apollo. With development nearly complete, it's not just a medevac, it's about to become a fully mobile spawn point. Now, thanks in no small part to Tier 0 item recovery, players who imprint to an Apollo can respawn with all their gear, turning it into a frontline respawn hub for long engagements or deep space operations. Now that's powerful, maybe even a little too powerful. In its current form, it could allow for an endless wave of respawns, especially in PvP scenarios. If a full team keeps reviving on a nearby Apollo, death becomes a minor inconvenience instead of something players actively try to avoid. That undermines the high-risk atmosphere Star Citizen is trying to create. And that's where the regeneration crisis might change things. According to the Lore Maker's Guide to Regeneration, respawning depends on Ibrahim spheres, and each death degrades your imprint viability score. Eventually, if that score drops too low, you stop coming back. If CIG starts requiring Ibrahim spheres or medical resources to respawn, the Apollo suddenly becomes a limited use asset, not an invincibility machine. Now, if you want to dig deeper into how this system works, I've got a full video covering medical gameplay, and I'll also link the Lore Maker's Guide in the description. It's one of the best details of gameplay that CIG has planned for the future, and it sets the tone for what death and regeneration might look like in the future. It's no longer just about what ships look cool. It's about what they'll let us do, and even if half of these ships drop during 4.1.1 or Invictus in 4.2, we're looking at a very different kind of fleet. Now, what was once speculative is now official. CIG just updated the roadmap, and some of the most exciting mission additions we've seen in a long time are now confirmed and tentatively listed for Alpha 4.1.1. First up, Gilly's Pilot School. This isn't just a rehash of the old tutorial. This is a fully integrated set of combat and flight training missions designed to help players of all skill levels refine their abilities in real-world conditions. These missions take place in new asteroid mining bases, and the very setting feels reminiscent of the original Star Citizen tutorial, which many of us remember fondly. It had atmosphere, charm, and served as a great intro to the verse, something that we've been missing for far too long. Now, Gilly's Pilot School brings that spirit back. You'll find everything from single target combat to stealth scenarios, missile countermeasure training, multi-cruise ship engagements, and even a Polaris battle finale. And yes, the original tutorial voice actor is returning, which ties it all together with a familiar and well-paced feel. This is exactly the kind of system that we've needed for years, not just to help new players, but to give veterans a way to hone their skills in meaningful, repeatable challenges. It also suggests CIG is finally committing to more structured onboarding, which is a huge step forward for accessibility, considering how steep the learning curve is in Star Citizen. Then we've got ambush missions. These are stealth-focused combat ops that require you to reduce your signature, hide in high-emission zones, and strike at just the right moment. Each mission scales in difficulty, from a few light fighters to full-on military frigate encounters. If you jump too early or the target flees, you fail. These missions reward patience and timing, and for players who want more tactical depth in their engagements, they might be exactly what the game's been missing. Now, the security patrol missions round out this wave of new content. You'll join active patrols to scan for enemy forces and equipment, but it's not just a simple sweep. These missions include randomized mid-mission events like derelict ships, ace enemies with rare loot, satellites to ignore or destroy, and ships that might try to escape if you don't disable them quickly enough. These aren't static missions. They're branching, reactive, and encourage you to stay alert from start to finish. What really sets these missions apart, though, is the flavor and atmosphere. They come with named communicators like Stows for the Headhunters and Dispatcher Walton for Foxwell. These NPCs respond to your choices and keep the mission feeling alive through voiced lines and updates. It's not quite full narrative content yet, but it's a strong step toward immersive, character-driven mission design. These aren't just more boxes to check. They're systems that add replayability, variation, and real moment-to-moment decisions. If this is the level of mission design we can expect moving forward, Star Citizen's PvE loop is about to get a serious upgrade. Star Citizen isn't just adding content in 4.1.1 and 4.2. It's beginning to breathe. Between mission-driven events, evolving economic systems, and expanding locations, we're starting to see signs of the living, persistent universe that CIG has been promising for years. Take the upcoming Race to Regen, for example. It ties directly into the regeneration crisis lore, with players contributing materials, likely rare eggs, to different corporations competing to find a solution. The winning group could see in-lore benefits, setting the stage for player-driven outcomes that could go beyond just credits and rep bars. That alone changes how players interact with the universe. Then there's the Hunt the Polaris, a multi-stage event where players track a stolen Polaris, fight through resistance, and try to intercept it at a transient jump point before it escapes. It's cinematic, multi-layered, and finally feels like a mission with stakes. If CIG delivers on the execution, this could be one of the most memorable events to date. Now, we're also seeing early signs of an economy shift. Physical scripts, tokens issued by the Mercenary Guild and the Council, have shown up as an alternate currency. These aren't credits, but tradable vouchers that may unlock exclusive gear or access to certain vendors. If this system expands, we could be looking at the foundation for a true reputation-based economy, where who you work for and how you perform actually matter. Meanwhile, Stanton itself is expanding in ways that might finally reward PvE-focused players. New mining bases have started to appear across Hurston, Crusader, ArtCorp, and Microtech. Some medium-sized, some small, but so far very little is known about what these locations will actually offer. They could serve as combat zones, resource hubs, or tie into future mission content. But for now, their purpose remains speculative. With so many of them scattered across the system, it's clear CIG is building towards something. But what that is exactly is still anyone's guess. That mystery alone has me watching closely. And then there's the wild card, Area 18's Municipal Works. Formerly referred as the sewers, this sprawling interior space has been quietly showing up in back-end files. It's said to include multiple layers and chapters hinting at a deeper mission hub or traversal zone. I'll be honest, I'm skeptical that we'll see this anytime soon. But if it does show up in 4.2 or shortly after, I'll be both surprised and genuinely excited. Area 18 has always felt like a location with untapped potential, and this could finally give it some life beyond the spaceport and showroom. Taken together, these additions feel different. Not just more features, but more connectivity between systems, factions, locations, and the player. If CIG continues in this direction, we may finally be on the edge of Star Citizen becoming what it was always meant to be. A persistent universe that remembers what you've done, responds to your actions, and keeps you coming back for more. There's a momentum building in Star Citizen right now that we haven't seen or felt in a long time. Between the steady rollout of mission content, new ship roles that finally feel meaningful, expanding locations, and events with real narrative weight, CIG is starting to move away from isolated features and toward a game that actually plays like a persistent, connected universe. That doesn't mean everything is perfect. There are still balance issues, gaps in systems, bugs that drive you crazy, and features that sit half-finished. But 4.1.1 and what could follow in 4.2 feel a bit more different than they usually do. Not because they're flashy, but because they're part of a larger design language that ties the universe together. When you've been following Star Citizen for as long as I have, you know better than to call any single patch a turning point, which, I'll be honest, I often do, and I'm working on that, I promise. But if these updates stick the landing, if the content ties together and the systems reinforce each other, then this really could be the moment where the game starts to feel alive, rather than just impressive in scope. The ships coming in 4.1.1 and Invictus aren't just cool, they're functional. They tie directly into gameplay loops. The missions aren't just objectives, they're reactive and skill-based. The events aren't just story, they're letting us play a part in shaping what happens next. And that's the kind of shift that we've needed, and it might finally be here. Fingers crossed. But let me know what you think about everything that we've covered. What are you most excited for in 4.1.1 or Invictus? Do you think this content is enough to keep things fresh, or is there something else that you're still waiting on? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you want to go above and beyond in supporting the channel, consider becoming a channel member. Not only does it help keep these deep dives, updates, and breakdowns coming, but you'll get early access to videos, behind the scenes updates, exclusive Discord access, and a shout out in every video. It's a great way to support the content while getting a little something extra in return. And if you're interested in why Star Citizen's universe still feels empty at times, and what CIG can do to fix it, check out my recent video where I break it all down and offer real solutions. It's one of the most important discussions that we've had about the game's direction, and you can find it linked at the end of the video and in the video description. As always, thanks for watching. Fly safe, pilots, and I'll see you in the verse. Havoc out.